This is William Dockeray from Two Hats Publishing. We're on an investigation mission here, wondering if things might get exciting. I'm posted with the press, and all things are go. Just watch what happens and see if we can have a little fun here and maybe a little excitement. So let's watch our little video.
So tell me everything I need to know about what's going on here.
Well, as you know, ExxonMobil is having its shareholders meeting at the Meyerson Symphony Center. They have this every May so far, and traditionally there has been action, direct action here by primarily the environmental community, but other communities, progressive communities in Dallas have participated. People concerned about human rights, given ExxonMobil's atrocious human rights record, and also the LGBT community, given ExxonMobil's sordid employment practices with gay, lesbian people. So this year we're unwelcoming ExxonMobil to this, and basically, the title is Arrest Exxon, and basically, and I have a scroll here with all the well, not all of their crimes, that would take forever, but a number of their notable crimes that they have committed against humanity and the planet. Given their atrocious human rights records across the globe, whenever they go to non-Western countries, they have corrupted their governments, they have exploited their resources, they have intimidated their people who have objected to their practices, and there even has been their involvement, even if off the side of supporting harassment and kidnapping and raping and murdering of people who have dared to say, no, stop what you're doing from destroying our land, stop stealing our resources, stop corrupting our government. Exxon has a pretty sordid history. We have someone coming here this morning who's from Nigeria, and she's going to be talking about the crimes that ExxonMobil has committed in Nigeria. The very same things, the use of violence to suppress resistance, of people complaining about their water sources being contaminated, their land being contaminated. Exxon is not family friendly. You know, all their nice little imagery, as far as I'm concerned, and many people, ExxonMobil is a terrorist state. There was a book that came out, I believe, last year or 2 years ago, and likens ExxonMobil really to its own nation. It really is its own nation. It controls governments, including ours, or one of those corporations that have controlled our government. And basically, they feel like they can do anything, do whatever they want, suppress, use violence, corrupt politicians, subvert the democratic process. So we're here not only to say, you know, there are human rights violations, but also there are crimes against the planet. I mean, the list could go on forever, from the Exxon Valdez, which wasn't just because the captain was drunk. Really, that wasn't the main issue. The main issue was that there was equipment like radar that was broken and had been broken for a long time, and ExxonMobil just didn't want to bother fixing it. And the contamination and the destruction of the wildlife in that area was just monstrous, and it's still bad now. To the constant spillage of oil, the contamination of people's lands across the world from ExxonMobil's extraction processes. And of course, one of their worst crimes is that ExxonMobil has purposely lied and deceived the public and politicians by saying climate change is not real. For years and years and years, they funded misinformation purposely to confuse people, to confuse politicians, to tell them, oh no, there is no consensus about global warming. There is no consensus about climate change. When the scientific evidence was clear that yes, there is global warming, there is climate change, and it is inseparably connected to human activity of release in greenhouse gases in the atmosphere. Their only concern is protecting their profit. That's the bottom line, and the profit of their shareholders. People and the planet can go to hell. And in fact, we are going to hell, because it's now clear more than ever that global warming and climate change is accelerating at an even faster rate than the IPCC had made predictions a number of years ago. Just several weeks ago, a huge chunk of Antarctic ice is now sliding off. It's irreversible. And that for sure will mean coastal areas across the world, including Texas, will now be underwater. You can kiss Galveston goodbye. And most of Florida and New Orleans, and also on the East Coast and the West Coast. But yet, even though Exxon says it's no longer funding those disinformation campaigns concerning global warming and climate change, they're still secretly funneling money to promote those lies. That is a crime against humanity. That is crime against the planet. That's genocide. That's ecocide. For these and innumerable other crimes that they have committed, and again of subverting the democratic process from here, from their influence in Dallas to the state of Texas, their control plus other oil and gas companies' control of the Texas Railroad Commission, which is supposedly to regulate oil and gas processes, are totally in the pocket of big oil and big gas and big coal and any big corporation in the energy field. To what we see, the farce, and that's being nice about it, of what it is doing to our national government. And also we see what it's doing up in Canada, because ExxonMobil has its clutches, its tentacles in tar sands and also in fracking. And we see the catastrophe that's unfolding in Alberta with tar sands and the destruction of an unbelievably huge area. What was once pristine northern forests to get at tar sands, which it takes more energy to get tar sands than what you actually get from it, which is insane. It's the end game of the fossil fuel industry, but yet they proceed to do it. So really, this is a battle for our lives, the battle for our children's lives and their children and their children, and even for the earth, for the ecosphere. Because if climate change goes into the worst possible direction, I mean, we're already experiencing climate change and global warming. It's here. It's going to get worse. It's going to get much worse, and it's going to be extremely disruptive. And we need to quit wasting time. We need to radically get off fossil fuels as a basis for our economy. We have to do it. The IPCC has indicated in their latest studies that by 2020, the West, the developed nations, would need to have reduced greenhouse gas emissions by 40%. We're not even close. Not even close. And by 2090, excuse me, I'm trying to remember, oh yeah, 2050, sorry. By 2050, we should have reduced, the West should have reduced greenhouse gas emissions by 95%. Listen to that, 95%. We're light years from that. We're not even thinking about it. And can you imagine the immense disruption to the economy, to society, to work, jobs, people's lives, when that is not being done, or it has to be done cataclysmically, without regard to people's lives. This is a fight for our lives. So basically, ExxonMobil deserves to be arrested. Its CEO and their heads, their top leadership, deserve to be arrested. As far as I'm concerned, they should be dragged to The Hague and tried for crimes against humanity and the planet. And also that we are here to let ExxonMobil and all the oil and gas industries know your days are over. We're not going to stand by and let you and your political cronies sell our children's birthright and flush it down the toilet for your profit. Because you are so deluded, you're so blinded by your need for profit, you're willing to destroy the planet. No. A sane society does not let sociopaths and psychopaths run loose and do whatever they want. And if our, quote, leaders allow that to happen, then they are criminals and psychopaths and sociopaths too. And it's time for us, human beings, American citizens, but just human beings, to say, no, you have failed, politicians. You have failed, so-called moral leaders. You have failed, business community, to do the right thing, to take care of us, to protect our future, to protect our children. So now we will do it. We will force you. We will disinvest from fossil fuels. We will demand universities and other institutions that have invested in fossil fuels to disinvest, to divest from fossil fuels. We will organize from community to community to community to have citizens demand public control of the production of energy, to demand to shift from fossil fuels to wind energy, solar energy, thermal energy, wind energy, whatever new technologies that can help us, we got to do it. We got to do it. And even then, we still have to radically reduce consumption. We cannot continue to pretend we can live in a manner that it would take 5 planets, 5 Earths for everyone to live like us here in the United States. It's inherently unjust, is inherently violent. So we, the people, have to take control. We have to demand that the public has control of the production of energy and not let ExxonMobil and others try to take over solar energy, wind energy, thermal energy, and can have another monopoly. Where there is monopoly, there is no democracy. Where there is monopoly, there is no justice. And we're demanding justice, whatever it takes, through nonviolent, peaceful means. But we are ready to put our lives down on the line if it has to, because our children's future is already going to be horrible. It's already going to be far worse than what any of us have ever experienced, including the Great Depression. So this is not a light matter for us. This is life and death.
This is William from Two Hats Publishing. Thank you for watching our little video. If you'd like to see more videos of this kind, please leave comments to that effect in the comments section below, or we'd love it when you call. All videos for the week are posted by Tuesday afternoon. So have a great day.